Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. We begin tonight as more than 40 Eastern Washington superintendents now asking the governor to officially remove the mask mandates from schools. All of this coming after 2 school districts have already dropped mask mandates just this week. Both Richland and Kettle Falls school boards voted to make masks optional in their schools.
The Washington State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl has warned schools they could lose state funding if they don't follow the law, even though Rakedahl himself sent a letter last week to the governor asking him to remove the mask mandate in schools. KREM 2's Ian Smay joining us in the studio tonight to break down the letter that was sent to the governor, the State Department of Health, and Superintendent Rakedahl. Ian?
The map you see here behind me shows school district boundaries in Washington state, barring some private districts that are fully within a public district. That letter urging the state to lift its mask mandate for schools was signed by the districts you now see colored purple. And as you can see, the 49 districts represented by those superintendents are all in the eastern half of the state. The letter is addressed to Governor Jay Inslee, Secretary of Health Dr. Umar Shah, and State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl. It states that there is a, quote, urgent need to address students' social and emotional well-being. It also cites psychological and social fatigue on school communities. I spoke with Brett Baum, who signed the letter as the superintendent of the Rosalia and Great Northern school districts. He said the hope is that Governor Jay Inslee will announce an end to the mask mandate soon and that it will go into effect shortly after that announcement.
When the governor decides to make his announcement that the masks will come off, ideally we would hope that the date that the mask can come off would be very close to whenever that announcement is made.
Comes after Superintendent Rakedahl sent a letter of his own to Inslee asking for the school mask mandate to be lifted. The other request in the letter is that the Department of Health take over contact tracing duties from school districts. Baum said it has created a strain on some of the districts in Eastern Washington. The Central Valley School District didn't sign the letter, but a spokesperson told me today that's because Superintendent Ben Small sent his own letter with the same request to the state. Another one of the districts that didn't sign the letter was the Spokane Public Schools District. We will have a statement from them and more on the letter at 6 o'clock tonight. In the studio, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
All right, Ian, thank you very much. In the meantime, COVID cases are dropping dramatically inside the Coeur d'Alene Public School District. This week, CDA schools only reporting 10 COVID-related cases in a district of more than 10,000 kids. And today, there are only 7 COVID staff absences. Now, back in late January and early February, the district was reporting more than 200 cases a week among students. And at the same time, more than 100 staffers a week were calling out. The district hasn't actually had a mask mandate in place all of this school year.
The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare has lifted crisis standards of care. The practice was put into place for Southwest Central and South Central District Health. Health leaders made that decision last month due to shortages of both staff and blood products. They say those shortages have stabilized now, but some hospitals do remain under stress, they said. In Western Washington today, King County announced you will no longer need to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test to eat at a restaurant or enter a business. The county announced today that they are ending that requirement starting on March 1st. It is one of a series of relaxing COVID requirements in Washington. Governor Jay Inslee is expected to give an update on the state's indoor mandate tomorrow, and the state's outdoor mask mandate will come to an end on Friday.
Well, we have an update now to our exclusive KREM 2 investigation into the Spokane Shock. Today we have confirmed a default letter has been sent to team owner Sam Adams. He had until 5 p.m. yesterday to sign his contract to play at the arena this year and also to submit a $128,000 security bond at the Public Facilities District. Now, shortly after the deadline passed yesterday, we're told Adams did sign that contract, although he still has not provided the security bond. So that means he is technically now in default, and that means Adams has 5 business days, which is until next Wednesday, the 23rd, to comply, or I'm told his contract at the arena will be terminated. Now, KREM 2 has obtained a copy of that contract. New this year is a special clause to protect vendors who would work with organizations like the Shock or any others, talking about things like printers for programs or DJs or charter bus transportation providers. And the PFD says it is now adding that extra requirement in all of its future contracts with all organizations to ensure that vendors are protected.
We expect that if you're renting space in our facilities, that you are in good standing with any other vendor that would use our facility.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility to make sure that the organizations that are part of the arena here are actually in good standing, not just with the vendors that are in this building, but everyone else involved with the Shock organization?
Yes, definitely. I mean, in part for the community, right? If there's businesses in the community that have done business with the Shock because they expected that it would be on the up and up, you know, we've never had to say, we expect you to pay your people. We've never ever had to do that before, but obviously now, I think where we sit is, legally I don't have an obligation, but as a member of the community and as a leader in the community, and the PFD is a leader in the community, we definitely want to be doing right by the community.
If you would like to read more about our ongoing Shock investigation, including past season ticket holders who tell us the Shock still owes them thousands, just go to krem.com, or you can text the word Shock to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that link right to your phone.
The Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office has identified the man shot and killed at an apartment building in Spokane Valley earlier this month. 34-year-old Joseph B. Quinn was shot after what witnesses describe as an argument. Spokane County deputies tried to save him, but Quinn was pronounced dead at the scene. Deputies are still looking for the suspect tonight. However, a man was spotted leaving the scene immediately after the shooting, and he is described as roughly 6 feet tall, skinny, and wearing dark clothing. They are asking anyone who knows anything about Quinn's activities leading up to the shooting to please call Crime Check.
12 more planes were hit by lasers last night at SeaTac International Airport. Several of the flights were targeted, we're told, within a span of just 2 hours, many of them from just about a mile away. That includes 2 Alaska Airlines flights, 2 Horizon flights, and a SkyWest flight. Another Alaska Airlines plane was targeted by someone 34 miles away from the airport. No injuries were reported. The FAA and King County Sheriff's Department continue to investigate.
All right, let's take a look outside right now. Another day of spring-like temperatures, just beautiful right now.
It's really gorgeous. This is another just fantastic sunset.
Breathe it in.
Oh, I know. We want to head over to meteorologist Tom Sherry. We've been very lucky, but you say that there's, I don't know, kind of a dip in the temperatures coming.
There really is. Beautiful weather we've had, above average, dry. We need to get some wet weather. Wet weather arrives this weekend, and next week we'll see some overnight lows dropping down into the teens. 43 degrees, that's the current temperature. Wind, as you can see, is out of the west-northwest. It's 7 miles per hour. Most of the wind speeds around the region are either calm or in the single digits. Down around Ritzville, that's about the one where we see the strongest breeze at 14 miles per hour. Satellite and radar pictures showing mostly clear skies in Washington, at least east of the Cascades. Then as you get towards North Idaho and western Montana, you see increasing clouds. For the weekend, I've got temperatures hitting 44 on Saturday, 43 on Sunday. Tomorrow we'll see partly cloudy skies here locally, and I think we're going to see temperatures also in the low to mid 40s. Or you can see it right there, 28 the low, and then a high tomorrow, 45. We'll check the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Good, Tom. Thank you very much. Well, tonight, local high school students are coming together to share their artistic perspectives on the Black experience in Spokane. Northwest Passages is hosting a Black Story Symposium to spotlight young Black writers.
KREM 2's Janelle Finch is joining us now to share how Spokane is celebrating Black creatives and their art. Hi, Janelle.
Hi, Mark and Whitney. I spoke with one of the students ahead of tonight's event, and she told me she's just counting down the hours until she and other high school students take the stage. She says through expressing herself through writing, she has gotten more connected with her culture, and she can't wait to share how she found herself with Spokane. Juanetti Kalu is a junior at Rogers High School. She says she uses writing as an escape from the stressors of reality.
It's actually been helping me in my own personal life with stuff I'm going through. So I've been writing a lot of short stories and poems.
Tonight, Juanetti and other Black high school students will share their stories. The Spokesman Review began collecting student stories, poems, art, and short films in early December to showcase during the event. The paper published 6 of their student submissions. Juanetti says her story shares what a lot of different minority communities may feel living in Spokane.
It's from a perspective that I feel like all minorities can kind of fit in, not just African Americans. And I wanted it to show that, despite what we display on the outside, maybe we display that we're perfectly fine and okay with any discrimination going on in the world, but it's it can't be overlooked.
Attendees will also hear from Spokane native Mandy Price, who has helped produce some of America's favorite shows like Little Fires Everywhere and Area 81. Mandy says growing up, Spokane didn't have a showcase for Black artists. She says she's honored to be a part of an event that inspires young creatives in her hometown to share their art.
There's just so many different facets of what is art, and I think that if we just celebrate all kinds, then I mean, how magical is that? And to have that something like that in Spokane that celebrates culture is just it's something that's unique to the city, and I'm so grateful to the city for having something like this.
Mandy will talk about the importance of representation in a discussion with Spokane NAACP President Keonta Duncan. She says with her position in Hollywood, she wants to support young people who look like her and encourage them to take risks, dream big, and keep sharing their stories. Tonight's event begins at 7 p.m. Organizers are expecting over 100 attendees to come to the sold-out event and hear from Black youth in Spokane. Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Janelle, thank you very much. Riverside Avenue about to get a facelift aimed at making things safer for cyclists.
It's just the right project just to bring this to Spokane, and I think people will really like it.
How long it'll take the city to put in bigger bike lanes downtown after the break.